Good evening. It is 6 o'clock. I am calling to order the November 15th, 2022 meeting of the Rutland Conservation Commission. Present in the room are Peter Crane, Skip Clark, Melissa Danza, and Scott.
You're nothing.
No one is remote. We are being recorded on Zoom and by camera for broadcast in the future on Rutland Community Television. I think that's all I need to say. Now I will share that and bring up this. All right, so first things first. Minutes of November 1.
Motion to accept.
You can't.
No, I can't. I wasn't here.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Dan's eye.
Staying.
Aye. Hey, Jared, come on in. You're just barely too late.
Just barely too late.
So, hey, what's that?
Will that exempt him from the proceedings?
Nope,
So for the
Nothing
record,
employed.
Jared Gentilucci has just joined the meeting at 6:02. Moving on, agenda item numero uno. So we have a request to an administrative change to the Blue Sky Tower that we had discussed 6 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago.
Hey, oh, like,
Yeah. Oh, just a second. Somebody's trying to join. Oh, man, I think this might even be the guy for this. So this very briefly is the plan. And the change is that is the location and number of poles, as we've already discussed.
Right.
Because there's a pole there, and I gotta zoom in. I can't read.
They going underground with more?
No. This is exactly what they did last time, which is they're going from
Philip?
yeah, they're going, so hold on, let me just move this back. So this is the whole property, this is the road. So there's going to be a pole here, which is always planned. I think what happened is they made the last segment underground. So it's still poles. One here. One here. With utility drop. So I believe that this is where it goes underground.
There he is.
Matt, is that you? You here for this?
This is
Oh, Sean, I'm sorry, it's you.
Yeah, this is Sean from Blue Sky. So just real quick, the last time we spoke, so it's underground in front of the house there. I've had a meeting with National Grid, so that pole that's shown at the beginning of the driveway there is actually not necessary. So we're going to go underground all the way to the existing pole. A little bit to the
Oh, the existing pole is over here.
right.
Yeah.
So what our change is that we want to decrease the amount of overhead poles and go from 2 poles. Go from 3 poles to 2. But what you're going to see if you want to scroll over where the wetlands are, where we do that crossing.
Right.
I do not understand a word of that. Yeah.
Right. So this pole is gone. That pole stays. That's 1. This pole stays. That's 2.
So this
Yeah, I just didn't hear what he said.
different. So there was 1 pole like in the wetlands. So what we're trying to do is decrease the amount of overhead wires.
Right.
You're just garbled. I just can't literally hear the words coming out of your mouth.
Is that a little bit better, perchance?
Much better. Thank you.
Jeez. Yeah. So basically, we're going from 2 poles, 3 poles. Doing the same thing. It's 3 poles to 2 poles. One of the poles was like in the wetlands. So we're pulling it outside of the wetland, but what we're showing is from that pole where your hand is, that would be underground in the buffer zone, as opposed to the last plan, which had overhead to get through the wetlands and then outside of that green line buffer zone. So that's really the only change is where we're just going to have a little bit more underground to that pole from there, that pole to the tower site.
But it's gonna be overhead where the wetland crossing is though.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And just within, is it going under the road or next to?
So that location there would be
When you're going
outside the road.
underground. Okay. When you're going underground, it's gonna go outside the road.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Right, that is the way it's drawn. Is this trenched or is this bored?
It would be trenched.
Do we need to do anything more since they'll be trenching right up at the wetland? No, they already have
They already.
erosion controls in, so it should all still be there.
Right.
It's within the existing limit of work, yeah.
Right.
Nope.
It's a reduction.
So I guess, any other questions? Comments, anything? Motion?
Motion to approve administrative change for blue skies.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Just Lucy, aye.
Clock eye.
Stanza eye.
Right.
Oh, that's your last name, Mike. Great. Crane eye.
We're awesome.
So you're all set, Sean.
Okay. Thank you very much, folks. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too.
Take care.
Oh, sure, I'm rid of that too. All right. Now, number 2, drainage concerns at 240 Barre-Paxton Road. Who was the original complainant? Do we remember?
Yeah, butter. I don't know.
Trudeau.
Trudeau. I don't think he's here.
It was the gentleman named John Trudeau who lives at 240 Barre-Paxton.
Right. So last time, he actually showed us a video of the water coming down, cutting across the driveway and running on the other side, and definitely not running towards.
Right, does he, you know when that video was? Just, did he say it was recent?
It
It
was recent.
That was recent. We had all
There's a swale, if you're driving up that driveway on the right side, there's a
Yeah.
swale that's supposed to contain it, is that the one that's
Yeah.
jumping out?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we're just gonna go up there and straighten out the swale. and make sure
Yeah, because
they don't-
even that, we were looking at the plans, I think, and it tells you that swale is actually not supposed to go into that pond.
It doesn't go in your pond.
Right.
Why?
It's just-
I know you didn't draw it.
Some
Stormwater
wetland guy
management,
plan, yeah.
Stormwater management or something, I don't know,
Where's it supposed to go?
down the side and into the culvert.
That's
and
always
under the
supposed to be from
driveway.
the driveway.
Because it's too much.
Yeah.
Way too much volume.
Well, because it,
Well, it's not too much when the leaves on top of the catch basin, because that's a full catch basin that plugs up, let's say,
Okay.
the stator is down below.
Okay.
So that's when it catches.
Because there was no mention of it.
Yeah, it's, they have, it's a catch basin, and they have slots underneath as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
But state, you ever see the state clean out the side of their gutters? So, I mean, it's not maintained, there's a problem, and,
Okay.
you know, we clean it out, and so we had a sock in there, you know, when we
Right,
put
yeah.
a furnace, and that really plugged up, so.
Right.
But now.
Yeah, I mean, he had it and there was inch and a half water from up top of the road.
Okay, so we'll go down there and clean out the swale and clean out the catch basin, but
because
I
it
don't know what'll
seemed,
happen after that. but-
it seemed like there
Right.
was a pipe that was leading into the swale, but we didn't, there's not any call for,
So what is that draining? So there's a pipe up top by the building. It discharges into that swale next to the driveway. How much water is coming down that swale? Where's it coming from? Do you remember?
it's not supposed
The
to.
building gutter
Foundation
water is
drains.
not there, that's
That
all
goes out back.
backed out. It's coming down the main chute of the driveway.
Okay.
It's supposed to take the main, between the two buildings, it's supposed to take that flow. The right side of the buildings, even though that's the ponds in the side, there's a catch basin that catch that one up on top,
Right.
you know, which is kind of strange because it's a wood curb that they designed, but it worked,
Right.
you know, when it's frozen. But the middle, so it comes down the middle and it just shoots out, so it's supposed to let it come around and in and then down, you
Okay.
know.
Well, it's supposed to discharge into the basin. It's supposed to have this storm scepter that has riprap into the basin. But there
Right,
shouldn't be any direct pipe, which it seemed like there was going into the swale.
that was that was probably from them.
It's an odd, we were trying to decipher the last time, like, this is just an odd set.
Well, the part of the problem too was that there was one building that
Right,
was always ever gonna be, and it was designed that way. Because there's another pond here for that building,
right.
so. I have to look, yeah, I gotta call the engineer, he should find out what that's all about.
Yeah, because it's kind of an odd setup right there.
Right. It shows a swale there.
Right.
Yeah, but it's only supposed to be capturing the driveway. So everything from that pipe should be going right into the basin, not the swale.
Well, it'll be even easier.
Yeah, you can just divert it up top.
Yeah.
Add an extra piece of pipe so that.
Right.
Goes
I don't
in.
know if that pipe's any part of this or if we drained on this side of this, you know what I mean? I don't know, I gotta look and see. where that went.
Right, but
I figured
it was the same thing, because you look at the picture and you look at it and go, okay, if
Yeah,
one more section of pipe to make what's coming out of that pipe going to there.
I need a mouse to go tell me where that pipe's coming from.
$1,500, think you'll snake it for you, it's not a problem.
Can we take that out of the town fees or? So I'll let me research that and I'll let you guys.
Okay,
All right?
yeah.
Thank you. I think that's all we need to talk about tonight.
That's it. for
Okay,
tonight.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Dave.
you.
Good night. Number 3, notice of intent to sell some chapter 61A land. This is actually dropping off the agenda because we were not properly noticed. The town and our committee were not properly noticed. So the clock is not running. So keep your opinions to yourselves.
Got it.
We may or may not ever discuss this again. We'll have to see what happens about with the timing and all of that stuff. Hey, I can be hopeful in my own way.
Well, it's not gonna happen.
Anyways,
Okay.
Moving on. Agenda item number 4, a shared conservation agent with the town of Paxton. Are you from Paxton, perhaps?
Yep, where's that?
Oh, we know where Paxton is. And I know,
It's not
you
like a
know
bad thing.
where Rutland is. So, welcome, Peter Crane, Jared Gentilucci, Skip Clark, Melissa Danza, and yes, Scott Langgren. We are
Missing
Joe Delaquilla tonight, but we'll continue on. So if you know somebody in Rutland who's willing and able to join the Conservation Commission, we have an open seat. I do too. Do you?
Always do. Strange problem to have, isn't it?
yeah,
I have some friends in Paxton.
Careful what you wish for.
I was gonna say, will they be friends for long?
Go out there, tranquilize them, drag them in.
right.
No, I get things done.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I'm Holly Robert, associate member.
Jim
My
Roberts.
husband Jim, and he's a voting member, and our vice chair, Mike Voorhees, who has recently become our chairman, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm chair.
It looks like the previous chair's gone. Is
He
that?
moved.
That would do it.
He moved, yeah, he sold his house, he moved to Maine, so it was inconvenient for him to
That's
continue.
a fun visit.
I mean, he's gonna keep working in Wentworth or something. I have no idea how he's gonna do that. I
He
mean,
said the
what,
commute was actually about the same.
Okay,
if you like traffic, yeah, if
Yeah.
you like traffic and sitting in cars, I get.
Although he does go to work at 4 a.m. or something like that, go to the gym. So he beats the traffic.
There's room for everyone. But yeah, so we had a conservation agent for a long time. She left for DEP. She's now the Central Mass Circuit Rider. You may have heard of Mia McDonald. We advertised, we interviewed, we selected someone. They
About 3 weeks.
yes,
Yeah, that
well,
made
no,
a
I mean,
meeting.
it was the first one that vanished without a
Jordan
trace.
Lester.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was the second one, right? I'm sorry, I'm
She
having
was
trouble
the first
keeping
one.
them.
He was the first one.
Yeah,
Basically, we hired one of them. They pulled out of the job before they even showed up, as far as I can tell. So then we brought in another one, and they stuck around for something like 3 weeks. And then they took another job somewhere else. They're, I think, in Belchertown now or something like that. And we were kind of scorched by that, really,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, because you go through not an insignificant amount of trouble with the advertising and the talking to people and the executive session crap and
Right.
and deliberating and agonizing over, well, what's this person's advantages and then bam, in a month, they were both gone. They were
Right.
and then
you get to do it
we're
again.
back to square one. And you know, I know that one of them left because of money, and we don't have a fortune to pay these people.
Mhm.
Right.
Which is, I think, why we're having this discussion is that hopefully if collectively we can pay someone a little more money, then they're less likely to just, you know, oh, hey, these guys are gonna pay me another nickel an hour, so I'm out of here, you know, I mean, I
Right.
just wanna kind of try to have that not happen. I don't know if you guys have you guys had an agent?
We've
before?
never had an agent. We've always done it
Mm,
our own selves, which means that some things we do okay. We're very good at getting out and doing site walks
yeah.
to review sites. We're not so good at ongoing surveillance, for lack of a better word. Monitoring is probably a better
Yeah,
word.
monitoring, yeah.
And we're really, really bad at knowing that it's time to get certificates of compliance done.
Oh, yeah, all this. Yep.
I know that feeling.
If you have permission from the person you're working with, then basically you can do whatever you want. But
Right.
yeah, there is a.
Well, but it's something that basically slips our minds collectively. We don't, in fact, I noticed very interestingly on your agenda, you had some very good notes about site visits and things that are coming up that we haven't never put on our agenda, which might be an idea we can steal.
Please do.
But back to the agent itself. So Rutland, I invited them here. I don't remember if I sent email to you folks or not.
We knew it was coming.
To start the whole discussion, Gary's pinged me, our town administrator pro tem, has pinged me a couple times about this because Paxton town administrator is pinging him. So everything flows right to here. So I thought that we should get together and have a discussion about how we view the duties, the hours, pay scale. We have our own funding problems as well. All small towns have funding problems, but I'm going to ignore that for now and not make that part of this discussion. That's an argument I have to have with the town administrator and the finance committee.
Good luck with that.
We didn't have,
Yeah,
Well,
But
we
we have a
did.
budget. Because
we
we
have,
had.
yeah,
anything.
Right. Oh, believe me, that does not mean as much as I would like it to mean to the financial processes.
And she managed to do everything in about 16 hours.
for a month,
Wow.
Yeah. for the
but
month.
you're like twice that.
Allegedly.
And she also took the minutes. So she did all the site visits, she did all the paperwork. I mean, we would still go out on some site visits.
I'm not under the impression that a replacement conservation
Would be in the
is going
same-
to do all the things that Mia did.
Right.
Neither am I confident that Mia did all of her work in the amount of time that she told us she did it.
No, Amy,
She
I
did.
think I would agree with that. Yeah.
She said there was months where it was slow,
Yes, of
and then
course.
there were months that she worked more hours and
Yeah.
it balanced out in the end.
Yeah, which is
So,
fine,
yeah,
you know.
we didn't care.
Yeah, we
we
didn't.
were
care,
monthly
so,
salary.
but,
And we had a small budget separately for Clark.
Mhm.
And she ended up being able to take the minutes, so we didn't need a separate clerk.
Right.
She was wonderful. It
Mia,
really
Mia
spoiled us.
Mia really kind of, yes. So I think that for having a part-time agent, it becomes very important for a commission to spell out precisely, or at least as precisely as you're,
Mhm.
easily able to, the tasks that your agent is going to end up doing. And think about it. So for instance, it's difficult to shuck papers and gather signatures during a meeting while you're also doing minutes. Okay, so
Mhm.
think about like the concurrency arguments and things, whether you're gonna be making your your agent's life unnecessarily difficult. It's not rocket science to do minutes. So you just delegate that to someone else who's not your agent.
Well, we actually do have a clerk. She's remote today because she's feeling ill, so.
Feeling ill.
What?
Just the way you said it. Sorry.
It is to laugh.
But I think that it's important that the agent's duties be spelled out more explicitly. I suspect that ambiguity brought on by the nigh omnipotence of Mia caused us to not describe the duties of the conservation agent sufficiently. I suspect that may have been one of the nails in the coffin of the second conservation agent.
Right, okay.
So that's just a thing to think about, and that's one of our tasks now, to try to sort out and spell out what we want the agent to do. We haven't done that yet, but it's something that we know that we need to do.
Have you just gone to the MACC job board and just kind of pick out those job descriptions? And because I think MACC even has a draft job description for an agent that has the basics.
Yeah,
I think Mia had wrote up the description
Yeah,
for when we first hired someone.
Great.
She wrote that ad up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I downloaded that.
Well, the
So I
ad
know
is
that.
the ad contains things like qualifications and duties. And, yeah.
But it also has the duties.
Okay.
I mean, she did everything. You know, if she wanted someone to go with her on a site visit, she just email us all, hey, who can join me? Or I'm going here this day, and I'm gonna hit this one and this one and this one. Somebody want to help? And we just go and bam.
So,
And usually do them on weekends.
There's, I think, a sample job description that's in the MACC handbook. And, you know, you can extract from that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, she'd handle the enforcement orders, you know, cease and desist, she'd do that and everything. Registry of Deeds, DEP.
we keep documents in a Google Drive. I guess you guys use OneDrive. Is that what you guys? So I heard someone talking about OneDrive. Yeah. Okay. So you guys keep your own personal sanity by just putting the stuff over there so that you don't have to. Yeah. Okay. We do something similar.
Yeah, we don't have any central basis for files right now is what we've been kind of going through. We don't have a home. We don't have an office. We don't have a server or a cloud that our admin can access. So, you know, she was living out of a box. And now she's, at least she set up the drive and now OneDrive, and that's been huge.
I think that's, it's much better than having hundreds of files in a file cabinet, because we have a room in the top floor of that
we have a room
of the Paxton Town Hall, you know, and the file, 4 file cabinets or 5 file cabinets, you know, all packed to like 300 PSI in there.
We're similar. We have filing cabinets out here, and we have
they make no rhyme or reason.
many things on the top floor.
Yeah. Sorted by street, you know, with use.
Sorting.
Are there
sorted
no,
by time.
Oh, okay, fair.
Well, as long as you have the minutes, that works.
As long as you know when you're looking for.
It was sorted
Yeah,
by
the streets help.
Yeah, they help unless you have a new subdivision, which doesn't have a street name yet with no street numbers. So basically you end up with lot 1, Red Oak Drive, lot 2, lot 3, lot 4, lot 5, all the way up to like lot 30. And then some very enterprising person has to go through and write a map that says this actually translates to Red Oak Street, you know, number 12 or something like that. And that, I think that took Chris the better part of a week to do that.
Wow.
So you guys looking to keep, would you say 16 hours a month, or what did you budget for?
16 a week, 16 a day.
4 hours a week.
4 hours a week.
4 hours a week.
So that's what we're, I think, what do we pay?
$35 an hour.
35 an hour.
There was a range that was posted.
Yeah.
On the MACC website.
Okay. Yeah.
It might have been like 30 to 35.
Sure.
So we tried to pay something competitive.
All right.
I don't actually know if that's competitive or not.
It
I
is,
don't.
yeah.
Okay, that's great.
You know, and enough to keep them there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had Mia for 5 years.
Yeah. She went to DEP, I can't blame her.
No,
Well, and it worked for her because she was doing another town. So with that little hours, you know, it's hard to get someone. So I get it.
and what's her name there, the last one, she got a full-time job in Belchertown. Benefits and
Yeah, I mean,
vacations. That's
lived
why
out-
she left.
She lived out west anyway,
Yeah,
so,
she lived
you know,
more.
so she's gonna have less commute and more money, you know? I don't, you know, like I said, I
Well,
don't
we
blame
don't
any
blame
of these
most
people. I
people,
don't blame
just-
any of these
right.
people at all. It's
Right.
just, I think that the paradigm now, good Lord, what am I gonna say it, these days, is to jump from job to job much more often than perhaps people used to back in the day.
Mhm.
Am I dating myself?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Everybody understands but Melissa.
I got carded the other day at a restaurant.
I've been at WPI since 1987. So
Wow.
It's longer than I've been opposed,
there you go.
and I'm hitting 30.
Yeah, I mean, that's it, 4 hours.
Yeah.
$5. And we need to work on a job description.
As do we, right?
So,
And
that's-
then, assuming we do go ahead and we share we co-opt each other's time to use to give enough hours to make it worthwhile for this person, then there'll be some form of intermunicipal agreement. We're just gonna deal with it. People in that
Yeah.
building know better.
yeah, I mean, you guys have a lot more land area than we do, I believe.
Right, and we have
There's a lot of construction, yeah.
Yeah,
a lot
more coverage.
Yeah,
we have
a lot of land, but most of it's state.
Well, yeah, when 50% of our town is owned by the state and feds,
Really?
a lot more by state than feds. Feds only on the small
Well, it
piece.
depends on the watershed area, right?
Oh, no, the feds own what dam is that?
Army Corps owns.
Yeah, the Army
Yeah.
Corps of Engineers, yeah, they own Great Falls. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one, yes. No, but the state, the various divisions of DCR.
Yeah.
Like 55% of the town.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have both, and it's both.
And Cleo owns the other 30%.
Yeah, because it's both watershed and Parks and Rec.
Right.
Right. No, this is part that Worcester owns. There's the part that,
Yeah, it's really weird.
like, there are small portions that are just divided up among other government
So the
agencies.
Worcester water system and
Mhm.
all that stuff.
I mean, I think on our side, it's a decision, or maybe not a decision, but an urge to see if we can get a full-time or if it has to be part-time.
Mhm.
Part-time including Paxton hours. So it would still limit us to, we'll say 15 hours a week, 14 hours a week.
Do you really think you have 14 hours a week for work?
Here?
Yeah.
It depends. Well, this goes to the
If
job
there's everything
description
that I
first.
want them to do, absolutely. Because they, especially with all the subdivisions, they should be out there probably even twice a week on some of the steeper sloped ones. I mean, and there's also a lot of the open space stuff that we haven't touched in town.
Mhm.
That if we can have an agent that's paid through the budget, not the WPA, but the budget,
Right.
then we can pay them to do more of the open space and Concom stuff, because we own property that we have never even seen. And that's a big part of the job that.
We also need to update our open space report, I think.
we're doing that too.
She's the chair of that committee.
And, you know, we have people coming in and saying, you know, well, can I hunt on conservation land? You know, your land isn't posted, can I hunt on it? It's like, well, geez, that's a very good question. If it's not posted, that's a damn good question, you know, and so, you know.
And believe it or not, the answer is, if you allow it, because it turns out to be local jurisdiction as to what
As long as
passive
it's-
recreation
Yeah.
contains
Yeah.
and
With the-
entails.
Look at the offsets, and this is a vanishingly small amount of land that's actually huntable based on the offsets, the distances.
Right.
But it's still a valid question, you know, and it's something that we haven't thought about.
Mhm.
So every once in a while, this stuff comes in and you're like, you know, hey, why didn't we do that? That
Just make sure you don't have a bylaw you didn't know about that prohibits hunting on town-owned property. Because there are those.
Yeah,
Because
that's,
I thought, yeah, we can hunt. Oh, we can't. We have a town bylaw.
I mean, yeah, I told I told the guy that, it's not posted, but the offsets are such that it would be very difficult, and Greater Worcester Land Trust owns all this land, and they have hunting by permit. If you ask them, they will ask you a bunch of questions and then give you a sheet of paper saying this guy, the person holding this sheet of paper, can hunt on our land.
Right.
That's how they do it. But I also told the guy I wouldn't doubt it if the state has rules that say that you can't hunt on the land even if it's not posted, because just the size of the damn laws of the
Right.
of the state are such that you never really know, do you?
A lot of DCR property you can't.
Unless you do a lot of reading.
Do you have a wetland bylaw?
Not yet.
No.
We're working on it.
That was the one thing that our agent.
Our agenda going down below number 6.
Mia helped us to,
Yeah.
she pretty much was on that.
Mhm.
That was why we hired an agent.
Yeah,
Right.
there were two town meetings involved in getting the law passed. Our first attempt failed. I suspect because the law was too complex. If you remember, we basically went through the law and we greatly simplified it. I think to alarm people less, because people were just like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do anything with my own land. And people were up in arms. It's just, and it's their town, so they can do whatever they want. Voting, that's how it works. But we changed our submission to make it simpler, easier to read, maybe less specific. But guess what? It passed the second time. So feel free to just copy the damn thing if you want. That was the result of a lot of time.
A lot of
spent,
a lot of
effort,
meetings.
a lot of meetings. We built it once and it failed because it was too scary. So that's what we have now is the less scary version.
Rutland had a similar experience. I don't remember when Joe said we tried to pass the wetlands.
That's like 10 years.
10 years ago.
I thought it would
I thought it would be longer.
longer than that, but there was a time when we tried, and similar to your first experience, it felt too restrictive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's people get to vote.
Mhm.
There you go. That's
Our
how it
bylaws more strict than the state as far as distances.
Mhm.
There's no touch
Yeah, we
areas,
can,
things like that.
And the wetland replication ratios.
What do you have for
2 to 1.
2 to
2 to
1?
1. So it kind of makes people think when they screw up
Right.
intentionally, they go, oh, this is gonna cost me.
Yep. So we're still we've been at it for a year. But the truth is that we haven't worked really hard.
Download ours and look
So we're
at
still,
it.
well, we'll start.
Download ours. I mean, there's a lot of plagiarism that goes on. We grabbed bylaws from all over the state for guidance. And we wrote to the other conservation commissions and said, we like this, do you mind? And basically everyone was tickled if we came and said, oh, we like your bylaw, can we take the piece out of it? Yeah, that didn't piss them off too much. So
Collaboration is key.
yeah.
Do you also have regulations or just the bylaw?
We got regulations as well.
Okay.
So those are all on the town website.
And there are also special conditions
Oh, yeah.
that we add on to an order of conditions,
Mhm.
and that's pretty strict.
We can, in fact, I don't know if the special conditions sheet is up online. I can send you all this stuff.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Just need to remember to, that's all.
You're like me, even if you write it down. Odds are only okay, you're gonna
If
remember.
I keep
it
my
tomorrow.
hands on this,
Right.
there's a good chance that it'll actually happen. It's just,
Or if you got his email address and you send him an email to remind him,
Then it
he'll
won't get
do it right
lost.
away.
Yeah. How long have you two known?
Hey,
each other?
he emailed me the other morning at 4:45. I didn't tell him that I just got up to go to the bathroom. And I was gonna look at my phone, which was sitting there, and I said, nah, I'll wait about 6 o'clock. I look at 4:45, he emailed me. I should have emailed him, looked at it and emailed him back, said, I'm awake too.
Never far away. Never far away. Not home away from home.
So
Did you
any
ever-
idea, like, as far as a time frame for you, like, you've got more of a hurdle, you've got to go through select board or finance committee and.
Well, we
all
need
this
to,
stuff,
we,
right?
I think at this point, it wouldn't happen until the next fiscal year, because we would need town meetings, so.
well, yeah, we have,
the budget.
yes, so we don't have budget today for one. But our budget talks are gonna begin very soon. In fact, some have already started, I just haven't taken part in them yet. Because I haven't worked on a budget for next year.
Just hide it in the school budget. No one will even know.
Yeah, if it weren't for the fact that, no, you're part of Wachusett also, I don't know how to hide that.
Yeah, I don't know how to hide it.
I could take some lessons that.
You could go to your finance committee and just say, we want to hire an agent and we need X amount of dollars. So for each week,
Just put it in there as, as like, you know, brooms or mop buckets or something like that.
you know,
$10,000 for brooms or something like that.
I like it.
Everyone will say yes and it'll.
There's gotta be money left over from something else that was budgeted, right?
you know, you don't spend it.
Cutting
it
a
gets
department's
taken,
budget
so
just hurts.
So.
I don't think we waited
Well, I guess
until
my
the start
concern
of
was
the year
having
for
to
me.
wait.
Yeah,
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah,
we,
I don't
I
know if
think,
these
really
guys
need
have
somebody
that stuff.
like now.
Oh,
Remember, we've got.
Cause we've got
the
new
account.
members and.
Yeah.
So that gives us.
You know, they don't
Yeah.
know the regulations and
Right.
you have,
honestly, we haven't probably kept up as much because we had an agent that knew all about it.
We had money of our own also.
yeah. You have your own accounts? The conservation.
We are
Commission?
not funded by the town right now. We are funded, everything comes out of the WPA fund.
so even our admin is being paid through our
Right.
WP.
Right, so you.
Well, I mean, if you have a lot of
we have
projects,
that.
then that becomes, that might be viable.
Yeah, but it's
It,
not. the
it
long
can
term.
be for a time,
Yes.
but it is
if you have a
not.
Dry time, then.
Yeah.
Then if there's a time where nothing's going on, then you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, you can start. We do a site visit,
Mhm.
it's $25.
Well, that's what we need. One of the things we need the bylaw for is to get all of our
Fees.
fees
Yeah.
aligned with our needs as opposed to.
Yeah.
Whatever the state
You
said,
know,
which
the
is.
town has fees for doing septics and whatever. and
Advertising fees, inspection fees.
Right.
I mean,
Inspection
anything
fee.
where you have a person who's gotta go out there and put boots on the ground and look at stuff, that's someone's time.
Right.
And we don't get paid, but the money goes in the coffers
Mhm.
for the Conservation Commission,
Right.
not for the town.
So you have your own 53.5 fund then?
I don't
Revolving,
know what
I
it's
have
called.
no idea. what a
Revolving
50
fund.
revolving fund. So your bylaw fees should be going into a revolving fund that carries over year to year.
Yes.
Yes, that is.
Yes. And we use
Separate
it,
from the regular wetland protection.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm not sure if we have that.
Yeah, the
I don't
Wetland
think we
Protect, the
have that.
Wetland Protection Act fees, like order of conditions and NOI fees and stuff
Right.
like that,
Those
those go to
go
the
separate.
town,
No, those should go in your
Those-
designated WPA
Yeah,
fund.
they
Well,
do.
the town
But
has.
what
yeah.
she's saying is that we should actually be having a separate one for the bylaw fees, and I'm not sure that we do.
I
We
do
have-
whatever the town wants me to do.
So,
Fair.
You may need to push back, because if you're watching it all through WPA fund account,
You gotta make sure that
then
you're spending
that
them.
money is limited to administration and enforcement of the Wetlands Protection Act.
Right.
And anything outside of that can't be paid
There
for
are,
from that account.
there are two separate accounts. There's an
Okay.
account which is the destination for Wetland Protection Act fees. And
Mm-hmm.
then there is a second account, which is the destination for our
All
advertising
the other
fees,
fees.
our inspection fees.
Applications.
Yeah, all that
That should be
kind of stuff, so.
Yeah, you should have control of both then. But this shouldn't be going back to the town. Each one should carry over each year, but the revolving is more, you can use it more accessibly.
I should be able to answer your question about that, but right now.
It's all right. No worries.
Okay. So we have a ton of work. We should. It's a funny question as to whether the bylaw is a higher priority or getting our job descriptions. My guess,
I can do a job description.
you know, my guess is we can probably agree to a job description in 1 or 2 meetings. And from that, once we know what the job description is, then we know we can figure out what the hour, how many hours it is, based on how many active projects that we have. We can start doing that to figure out what we'll need to do.
Yeah, I mean,
We do need to be careful. My guess is people higher up the food chain than I are going to strongly urge us to not make this a position that needs benefits.
No, of course not.
Right.
No, we didn't. do
Right.
that.
no
We
benefits.
didn't-
What's the
Right.
threshold?
19 and a half probably.
I think it's more. Yeah.
It can be a little bit, I think it's like, it can be up to 25 as long as the town authorizes it.
Right.
Usually, site visits, you were saying like twice a week or something. We did it once a week.
Yeah, we just
We
have a
don't have
couple where we have like one-to-one
yeah,
slopes.
that's-
It's a little
We don't
dicey.
have
Yeah.
years of,
Yeah.
These guys have lots of land.
Yeah.
And they have lots of.
and lots of
subdivisions.
hills.
A lot of
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
like, too.
And a ton of building and a bunch of wetlands. So the saying around town lately is all the easy land has been built out, and from
Mhm.
here it's all. From here, Concom gets involved a lot now.
Yeah.
Do you guys do anything other, or do you expect your staff to do anything other than permitting, or are you strictly focused mostly on the permitting aspect and just getting through hearings?
She did some trail work.
Yeah, I mean, we do some work of the conservation lands, and we have some trailed and blazed land, and we go out there and try to make sure the thing doesn't descend into
Yeah.
a horrible state.
Okay.
We do some work, like we did an Earth Day event with Great Worcester Land Trust where we went out and did some trail cleaning. We do some things like that.
Okay.
There are some Eagle Scout projects that we end up doing. Some small outreach stuff.
Okay, so not
very much. It's not huge. When we're desperate for members, we may set up a table at a town meeting and say, here's what your conservation commission is, because of course no one even knows that conservation commissions exist, do they? So you need to tell them. And sometimes we get some benefit from that. Sometimes we actually get people showing up and saying, wow, that sounds really neat, and I'd like to help my town by doing this stuff, because they like trumping around in the woods already. So maybe you can sometimes grab some people by doing that.
So how do you advertise, for lack of a better word, some of this? Sure, we have a website.
MACC, MMA.
Okay, I'm just wondering what you do, because we have a hard. I'm on enough boards that I know that we have trouble communicating with the public as much as we try.
Yeah.
And so there's a mechanism or a path that my committees aren't used, that in fact a lot of in town aren't using, that. So we're not getting, in my opinion, a lot of that our outreach isn't reaching anybody.
Yeah.
You mean for hiring them, for getting new members?
For getting members for,
That can be right on your town website.
it is.
Yeah,
It's gonna be like,
people
Yeah.
don't check that.
Well, that's a whole nother thing about
Well, then
where
I-
that's.
Town website, there's, whatever local newspaper you may have, there's, you can go to your local council on aging or something like that. Any community activity, you can either leave flyers there. I mean, it's easier if you can find people with more time. There are a lot of retirees who have obviously a lot more time. I work in Worcester and I barely got here on time, so. Yeah, exactly. So, but
Excuse me, you were just too late.
I left the office later than
but there are a lot of groups in most towns that are doing some sort of community work, and you can give them docs. Usually they have newsletters and things like that. You can put things in there. There's obviously a town TV station. Paxton has that too, but I have no idea how many people actually watch the TV signal from there. But so there's newspaper ads. There's talking to people at town meetings and doing that kind of stuff. We find that when we tell people about what the Conservation Commission is doing, a lot of people are actually quite happy that the town has this sort of mechanism that's paying attention and making sure that the drinking water stays safe and it's paying attention to the environment. And people were pleased. But
That's how we got James on the commission.
that's how we got James. So
He takes care of treating Turkey Hill Pond,
Ah, okay.
the Rutland and Paxton.
Mhm.
He came to us for a meeting on it. And we asked him where he lived. He says, "Oh, I live in Paxton." Why don't
the
you?
clause came in.
Our committee, and he did,
Here come the lassos.
you know,
Yeah, right, basically.
and it's fine, just something like that. Somebody shows up here and they've got this little interest, throw the bug out.
So, yeah.
But you should have something on your website, the town website, that says like openings, volunteer for, and have a list of all the openings that you have in town for different boards.
Mhm. Yeah, we do have that. It's just not,
It's not up
it's
there.
not obvious from the front page.
It's gotta be obvious from the front page, because people are lazy. They go there, they only wanna
They
look
just wanna
there.
see the front.
Wanna see
There's
the
usually like a
flashes, yeah.
community calendar page or something like
Yeah.
that a lot of people will go to and you can put some banner on top of that.
Mm.
Maybe a little square that says openings. Or volunteers needed.
I couldn't actually tell you where on the town Paxton website the open positions page is. So
I have no idea if there is one.
here we are.
It's a much bigger town here,
Yeah, but
to
be honest, the websites are quite similar looking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they're both done by
sides.
Civics Plus.
Like most towns, and it's just.
So you're on more than just Conservation Commission.
Oh, yeah.
He's on a lot.
What is Peter not on?
What is he not
Not
on?
on planning,
Not on.
not on the
planning.
Economic Development Commission.
You're on DBA, right?
No,
Yeah, you're
No.
on three.
four.
I'm on
Four.
3.
Oh,
Yeah, Concom, Earthworks, Cable Advisory, and the Bylaw Committee.
How am I only one behind you?
What's that?
How am I only one behind you? Wait, how am I one behind?
This is how it sounds.
Hey,
But there are like
hey.
a dozen people who.
You're on a
everything.
subcommittee, not a committee.
The only one who did come.
Does that not count?
No, we had a joke.
That's Earth Movement
Where
in town.
if
So
the right
you have a
person did the
separate
right job,
committee
Yeah.
no one,
that
no,
covers that,
everyone would have to
so
recuse
that's like
themselves and absolutely
mostly
nothing would get
building
done.
and
You
Exactly.
can actually formulate a job.
And
It
it's
would cause
constructed
the
of one
governance
person from
society,
Concom, one person
structure
from
of the town
planning.
to just
one
sell
person
the
from Board of
because no one
Health.
would be able to vote.
I'm missing one and that large one.
Planning.
Yeah, we don't have that.
Did that
Oh,
start,
AgCom, that's.
did
the other
that
one.
start from the turkey farm when they were bringing in all the dirt?
That did start some things that, yeah, the earthworks eventually came out of that.
Okay, 'cause I remember that.
Yeah, because Concom didn't want to be in the middle of that.
We just need a whole bylaw for it, so we really
Yeah.
do need another committee.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the board of selectmen does the permits.
Sometimes the planning board does.
So true.
In any event,
Yeah, what else do you,
Do you have any other questions for us?
Are you gonna be posting again in the meantime in hopes that you find someone? Or are you kind of waiting to see if we can get something sooner rather than later?
They
Doesn't hurt.
post.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet,
Okay.
honestly. That is also it's in flight right now.
Okay.
That's in discussion. It's in. But we meet once a month.
Yeah,
Second
we only meet once a
Thursday of each
Hmm.
month. So obviously no momentous decisions will be made until then. So
So how many hours do you think your agent is gonna need?
I mean, if we just do the 19.5, then you have 4.
are we talking like 10 to 15? Something like that.
15, put it at 19 and a half. Well, if that includes therefore a week. So it's 15.
And this is a week.
Yeah.
per week, yeah.
We do know somebody. It's a student. And she's looking for a wetlands type job like this. And she had hoped that our posting was still up because she was going to apply for it. And found out it wasn't up any longer. And she like, but I don't know if she's willing to take another.
I mean, she might be willing to work
15
for 2
hours,
towns.
which would be 19 hours. Well, it'd be 19 hours a week
Is it Brianna?
because she's also going to school.
Is that Brianna? Or is it Brianna or is it?
I don't know the person's
Okay.
name.
Fiona
Okay, never mind.
is her name. I don't
Very
know.
good.
I don't know the last name.
Fine.
Well, I just
So-
talked to Mia the other day.
Okay.
She was one for me. So
You folks are accustomed to having one. I would say. Don't wait because we have a
We
lot
will
of
lag.
town things to figure out. And so from our point of view, more than likely, the earliest we could do that would be July 1.
But I
Start
mean,
of next fiscal
if
year.
we hooked a person, then we can hold out the promise of a potential.
There is that, and then we can work together. You know, if you do hire someone, we can work on figuring out the IMA piece of it and how it all fits together. We can do all that in advance of town meeting and actually having.
That's tactics right there.
Mhm.
Okay. I think that's what we'll end up doing.
Yeah, so don't wait
Don't
for
wait.
us. It will be too long. It will be a detriment to your conservation commission to wait.
Well, we don't want to lose our budget either.
That's right.
Also true. Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's gone.
Yeah, you fight for it.
It's never to come back.
Our little tiny budget.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, but
No,
we'll
I
get it
haven't
back.
select-
All right, we will, I guess we will proceed. with
Okay.
that.
Okay.
We'll have to vote that. You know.
We should discuss this at our next meeting, I guess.
I gotta send you docs.
Please.
You gotta get his email so you could, if he doesn't send it.
In fact, I don't have his email because I had to send it through their website, which hides his email address.
Yeah, you got a sheet of paper I can write on somewhere?
Yeah, right on this one, give
Right
give
here.
this.
Here.
Look at that, you get it.
Here's the big
Yeah.
piece.
I'm gonna recycle.
Gonna recycle. Yeah, take a look at our bylaw, look at the special conditions. You know. Feel free to use them. We got them from everywhere else.
We have no problem plagiarizing.
Please do, it saves time.
I think we picked three or four towns, the best one we could find
Mhm.
to write our bylaw. We spent a lot of hours putting that together. Sometimes 10 o'clock at night.
Who has all your permits now? Do you each each month somebody does a permit for someone, or how do you handle that?
No, I mean, what sort of
Order of conditions.
Oh, we do it as a committee in our meetings. We meet twice a month.
Oh, okay.
So we never have a problem with virtually never have a problem with the timelines.
You can also have a statement recorded at the Worcester Registry of Deeds or electronic signatures. You don't actually have to physically sign it
Right.
permit either.
So we haven't signed it in, I don't remember, 18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were doing that too. Mia was handling it all.
Mm.
She would just type them all in, all the names who voted for it. And she'd sign it at the bottom.
But who does all the paperwork? That's what I was.
Our admin.
So you have a separate administrator that does that?
It's
Yes.
like our clerk who does the
Yeah, our
minutes.
clerk.
She does
Oh, so the clerk does.
Thank
as
you.
much as she can in her limited
So how
time.
much time does she give you them?
4 or 5 a week. That's what I'm used to.
So he does the order condition, certificate of
Yep.
compliance
Alright.
and
Yeah, so some
all
of that.
that.
She preps all the paperwork for us so far. So now all we have to do is to vote. She does all the electronic signatures, so she sends it off to the registry and DEP and takes care of all that for us.
Oh,
He does that now. Or he
No,
did-
yeah.
Again, that's all come out of the,
Yeah. That's the hard part. So it's fine for right now, because we've had a decent amount of applications, but eventually it'll dry up and be done.
right, so my expectation is that we'll probably need, I'm just gonna. For a time, we will have to get this funded by the town.
Yep.
Well, depends
It
on the
should
job
be.
description. Because we can, if we keep it to wetlands related duties, then we can fund it out of the WPA fund for whatever time that is. Which allows us to get the bylaw written and to get the other revolving fund set up for our fees, which will pay for the agent, and we don't have to have that funded out of town budget
It should
forever.
It should be. There's no reason we should be using our fees to pay salary when we can do other things with them. As someone who has been hired under being paid with WPA fees, it's terrifying.
Mhm.
I don't like the job stability of knowing that,
Yeah.
watching that fund go down.
Yeah.
Even when it's a 25-75 split where 75 is the budget and 25 is WPA, it's unsettling for a person to be employed like that.
Well, I've been warning FinCom for 2 or 3 years now that this is coming.
Yep.
And
Here we are.
hopefully
Yeah,
their response
get-
won't be. Thanks for letting us know.
Action.
Thanks, we'll get back to you.
Right.
Guaranteed response in 15 years or less.
So if you figure 15 hours a week, $35 an hour. And throw it at FinCom. Because this is what our budget's gonna be for the year.
How much does the admin assistant?
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah, not. I don't remember,
Disgusting amount.
but it's
Low.
very surprisingly low. And the town wouldn't let me give her a raise when I asked to. Because she's actually
She's doing more
clerk
than she should already.
of 6, I think, different boards.
Oh,
And so they
Yeah,
wouldn't
so
let
why would
me
they want to
raise
give such a
mine.
person a raise? I mean, you know.
That's right.
So they would pay for our real money, so it's the difference.
And she does the minutes too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For all these
She's our
different
Mia,
Yeah.
boards. And
as much as she can be.
when someone hands her more money, there will be a great degree of.
Does she want to pick up any extra?
Speaking, you can't hear that.
Well, when she listens to the recording, there's not much I can, no, maybe I can mute that.
I mean, she's in the select board office now. I hope she likes
Yeah,
it.
she's in there. She does enjoy it.
Good.
She does enjoy it. She's good with
She
people.
seems
too.
like, yeah.
she does all the paperwork too.
Mhm. She's a godsend.
How much you can?
Take up a collection.
What's her name?
You don't need to know.
How's that for collaboration?
Stick a burden off my back.
Okay, so I think you know what you need to do for your position. We're gonna start working on ours. Once we have something straightened away.
Mhm.
We'll meet virtually or collectively to what, again, we'll meet again to discuss them to see where.
Yeah.
Make sure that we're aligned reasonably well.
Yeah, yeah.
And even they don't have to be, it's unclear to me with the intermunicipal agreement, how aligned the descriptions have to be. So I don't know. I'll talk to people
You
about
should
that.
try to get them to be the same. That
Mhm.
way the person's doing the same job on both sides.
Right.
I don't know if they would have to be the same exactly, though. Like if we were using someone
That's
for
true.
so many hours.
Mhm. Yeah, you can have.
And
a
do
way
it.
to-
Clearly, the hours are gonna be different.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got an admin personnel that you don't have.
Mhm.
You wouldn't need the agent to be doing what the admin.
Right,
person is doing,
right.
Right?
But it's 2 town organizations.
Right.
Working together. I'm sure it won't be
Yeah.
complicated at all.
So if you have your admin person doing all the paperwork and stuff. Your agent probably not gonna be working as much.
No, well, the agent, in our opinion, excuse me, in my opinion, I shouldn't try to speak for commission on this. In my opinion, we have a lot of work on the rest of the permitting process and monitoring of sites.
We need the
And-
technical help.
Yeah, exactly. What we need is not administrative. It is technical to do all of the pieces that we know we are not doing.
You need someone to fix your filing too.
Yeah,
That too. Yep.
I'm done with it. Sick of it.
College student.
Regulatory help.
Yeah, really. Get an intern.
Get an intern.
Get an intern.
That's Paul right there. He'll say about interns. Any interns work at all.
Oh, well.
Cub Scout project.
Yeah, right, yeah. Give some kid the Eagle Scout badge for fixing your file.
Oh, they'd earn it. They'd earn the badge. No doubt about that. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
Nice meeting all of you.
Yes, and good luck to us.
Yes.
You
Good
have
luck.
any questions?
Yeah, he's got something like 3 different email addresses for me. but-
Yeah.
Perfect.
Too well connected.
Right.
Have
Thank
a
you so
safe
much.
long drive.
That's right.
Good
luck getting your
Thank you.
I would just go figure out, this is what we're gonna need.
Oh, yeah.
Or we're just gonna. You know, little fear.
Oh, no. They do not operate under fear.
No.
No. No.
Oh, well. Good luck.
All right. Thank you so much.
I would go tonight.
All right, topic number 5. So the select board sent out an email to pretty much every board saying,
Every board got it.
hey, well, that's because you're not a board.
Sure.
No, you're a subcommittee. Okay, to the chair of every board and committee and commission, asking if there was interest to meet basically our group and select board together to talk about stuff like communications issues and how we can work together and
agents?
Hmm?
And agents?
well, that might be on our agenda.
Okay.
Skip, am I missing anything important out of that?
It would be your discretion whether it be executive or open. There is many. Yes, that would be your discretion.
Why would you go into executive?
See,
Well, because sometimes it turns into a bitch session. There are some committees I can think of that will do nothing but bitch. And they don't want to do that in the open, but they do want to get the message.
But
loud
is
and
there
clear.
an actual exemption that allows you to go
Yes.
into
That's
executive?
one of,
after the bid?
this has been one of my questions, but
Yes, there is.
Oh,
There
I
is.
like it.
but
hey, I've never had a use for a select board, so I don't really care. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever.
hitting my eye. Ooh, that's on. Well, nobody's on anyway.
Is that your cup?
Yes,
I like it.
thank you.
You're welcome.
At work, people recognize me because of the Disney cups that I carry around. So to the commission, are we interested in meeting with the select board to talk about anything on our minds?
Sure.
Skip, you look like you're gonna say something, so I don't wanna cut you
Good,
off.
good.
Which side of the table do you sit on?
He'd be square in the middle.
I'm right in the middle.
So he's like the Thanksgiving turkey.
Yep.
Yeah.
At least you don't have your
Hold
12
against
split
the
the
other.
baby.
Okay, so would we like to meet in public or an executive session?
Executive.
I really don't care. I would do public. I don't mind complaining to them in public.
So,
Because
all right.
realistically, what do we really have to say besides the agent and funding and
I was gonna say, yeah, what things would we want to talk about?
support us? And
So it might not be what
but it would
you
flip.
would be
Oh,
asking, it might be
Oh,
what
but they
they
ask us.
might be
Mhm.
asking.
okay. I understand.
But how different is that gonna be than every time that you say, how's the bylaw coming? How's? I don't know.
I think
So-
that
And
means
how
the-
come you did this? And how come you did that?
because we don't have an agent.
And we're
And
following the law.
and we don't answer to that. We don't answer to the select board, remember it.
Well, we don't,
We
but
do.
you do.
We're appointed by the select board.
You're appointed by them, but you don't. They don't control our rulings.
Not our rooms, but they
That's
could
true.
take you on.
They don't control your rulings.
True.
There's a difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a difference and they don't understand parts of that because they always question, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? Because it doesn't meet X. And a lot of them don't like the answer. That's why I say executive. Because it's gonna flip. It's gonna flip. Because as you notice, when's the last time you saw anybody except because he's on
He doesn't count.
but when have you seen somebody? When I first started when I was first on this years ago, they used to show up.
Used to be a member.
Used to be a member,
Of the
show up,
select board, show up every time, yeah.
or even that, once a month or once every other month, they'd show up just to see what's going on, in case you had something that had to go directly back. Hasn't happened in years.
Well, Leah was on for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, which.
Huh?
She was-
She listened for a while.
Well, for a time, she was the liaison,
Yeah.
Right.
and
Oh, is she not anymore?
there are no liaisons right now.
Oh, oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
how come?
Long, complicated story.
Right, see, so,
Don't need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you not?
Go listen to
Yeah, give me
3
some
select
tips.
boards ago.
so it's one of those, I can't, you can look at it and go, that's the reason I like the executive better. Guess what, you can freely talk. Easier, not that you're trying to hide anything.
Yeah.
But you can freely talk better. I mean, I have nothing in per se that's bad or anything like that, but you go. I just don't want to see a flip coin. I mean, we had a flip coin try to start a couple weeks ago with us.
You did. We did.
We did.
Yes.
You were part of that. You watched and you helped and you supervised the meeting. People trying to tell us we didn't know what we're doing.
Oh.
And so that's the thing. I don't want that called out by
I
select
get it.
board. That really puts you in a bad light. If somebody wants to try to do that to us.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at it and go, no, because guess what? Sorry, DEP, DCR, everybody else, they very seldom ever say they don't agree with us.
Mhm.
We do pretty damn well. Not to toot our own horn, but we really do. So that's the reason I say executive. I've seen too much stuff go sideways.
And there was a reason to go into executive? Legitimate?
Tamika will have researched
I
it.
don't
She
know
says
the
yes,
rules.
or the lawyer, somebody said, if
Yeah.
somebody says yes, then
Then-
yes.
Yeah.
I'll trust if they say yes. I have no idea.
Skip, do you know what are they thinking about doing it in the context of one of our meetings? Because we meet regularly. Or are we supposed to do it in the context of one of their meetings?
It's could be a separate meeting altogether.
2026.
I'm free that year.
I'm busy.
I don't know what you.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, next one.
I'll be dead. I don't know where that came from.
I would,
So
I
sorry.
would, I would,
Did you go dark quickly?
Like,
might-
what?
I might say something to Gary,
Mhm.
pick his mind just a little bit and say, what are they looking for?
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt. I mean, sorry, there's no interboard.
So yes, we would
Communication at
love
all.
to talk about agents and budget restraints and sure, we can talk about wetland bylaws. We don't have enough people time, literally people time to get things done. And we need more dedicated staff in order to fully enact our bylaw.
See, that's why I think agent for us.
This is what I should have put up.
I think agent for us is like 8 to 10 hours a week, because guess what? Tamika does all the other stuff, and the agent and everything should take that part of it over.
Mm.
I mean, it's one of those, you look at that, so 8 hours there plus.
To be honest with you,
She does way more on
I
that.
think the world of Tamika, but she's being stretched so
Oh,
thin,
yeah.
She is.
she's gonna break.
So this is the email from the from Tamika on behalf of the select board. Reaching out on behalf of the select board to kindly invite you to a joint meeting with the board if you are at all interested as part of the board's 2023 goals and objectives. Don't get me started on that. They would like to open the lines of communication with boards and commissions to ensure that everyone feels supported and heard. members can either join one of your regularly scheduled meetings, or we can choose another evening and hold a joint meeting. Oh, that's interesting. So as part of the regular select board meeting wasn't even offered, which is fine. It's not obligatory, it's being offered to you. If you'd like to take advantage of it, should you choose to move forward with the joint meeting, please feel free to reach out to Tamika and she will help to coordinate it.
Send a copy to my new email, will you?
You got it.
I see my old one is there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, okay.
New email, I still don't care.com.
Silent.
I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
what I'm thinking.
yeah. You're such an instigator. Oh my gosh.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, I'm reading that sign up there, Paul.
Yeah. You being recorded? Think twice. Bring yourself back to November of 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wasn't on this board then.
you sure weren't.
I had retired once.
All right, moving on. So I will reach out to Tamika that we would like to hold a joint meeting in executive session.
If legal.
And it would be at one of our meetings? Is that how I read that email? Did I read that correctly?
Or, well,
what
that's a fair question. Do we want a special night to just have this meeting and?
I mean, we don't have a ton going on, just like
Yeah.
writing stuff.
Yeah.
So I would just do it at that. I would just do it on my meeting.
When's our next meeting?
December 6th. Yes, 5.
Let me look at the calendar. Oh, sorry.
Yep, 6, you're right.
Yes.
We wanted to see if that works.
Oh, so we have 3 weeks till our next meeting.
Yes.
Either-
So we have 3 weeks to figure out how we want to bitch
What
it
if,
down.
what if we say either the
No
6th
bitching.
or the 20th, whichever works better for them?
Ooh,
Are we really meeting the 20th? Wait, no, that's fine.
That's almost a full week. That's,
I won't be around. I won't be the front. I don't think. Wait a minute, I'll tell you. Oh, come on.
I gotta find out when my,
This.
I gotta find, because I know I'm going away one of those weeks.
Anniversary again?
Sure, as often as she says.
Smart.
Those are birthday ones. Mhm.
They're only 2 days apart on a calendar, if
Really?
that matters,
Maybe that's why.
because she wouldn't allow me to get married on her birthday. So I wouldn't have to remember as many dates, not that it helps. Yes, I am. So I have to find out when I'm going on vacation. And I don't remember if it's the week of the 12th or the week of the 19th. And it's not in here, so I gotta figure that out.
I may be out of state from the 14th to the. Maybe I'd be back in the 20th. Maybe.
Should we try for the 6th?
Well, let's try for the 6th. It's 3 weeks from now.
Mhm.
It's at the town meeting, so yeah.
Exactly, it's after town meeting. We won't. Nobody's queued up anything, so the most there'll be is submissions and whatever other discussion points we have.
Well,
So
We should have a
there's an
fairly
extra week.
small agenda.
We have another week for.
yeah,
submissions.
there is another week, but again, it'll be submissions.
Right.
If we say,
Not hearings. not-
yeah, if we say it's gonna be a submission, it's not gonna be a hearing,
Yeah,
then we can.
that's quick.
And then the bigger question will be on the 20th, do we have hearings for submissions or do we put it off until January? When we're sure we're gonna have, more sure we're gonna have a full board.
You just gotta
I'm
make
around.
sure they sign a waiver.
Yeah.
For the 21 days. Which I think Tamika does.
All right, I will let Tamika know by having said out loud what we just said, what we'd like to do.
Check your schedule.
Yes. But yes, I'd like to aim, I think getting it done on the 6th is gonna be,
It can never hurt to talk. We, like you said, we haven't really had a good line of communication.
right.
So.
Okay. Moving on, wetland bylaw and regulations. This is gonna shock everyone. I don't have anything done. Nope, not yet, because we still have. Yeah, public comment doesn't matter. Correspondence. So I got this email from Joe Buckley earlier this week.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. So guess what day that makes it?
Okay.
Colleen Abrams was here talking to Joe, obviously. Following a couple of rail trail issues. Colleen's you can't read that?
I think it's I'm good. We're fine.
Colleen's very dedicated. We are lucky to have the trail. It's a great resource.
Yeah.
But my word, not from the letter. They have been rail trail folks have been after us, DPW, for a couple of months to cut back along the trail, possibly using the boom mower. We, DPW, never did it. It was not done simply because there were streets we did not cut. We have outstanding work where people live and drive that we did not get to this year. I simply could not see sending the people to the trail when we are not completing the basic needs of our taxpayers.
True.
And I don't have an argument. So this is just a status thing. DPW suggested a stormwater utility to help fund street sweeping, catch basin cleaning, and general drainage system cleaning and repair. It is still under consideration for possibly spring town meeting. Colleen was hopeful we could clean a drain near the tunnel on Palmagussit. I explained that we had not cleaned drains in a couple of years, mostly because of funding. I hope to address that with resources from the proposed utility. No one seems to like the roads. No one seems to like the road's first mission. Using the first mission of the DPW is the roads. Nobody likes that mission that they currently follow, but the resources simply are not there. As all know, we are responsible for limiting defects on town roads according to state law. We work on that first. There has just not been any downtime. We have not been able to do any extra work. Yep, because they don't have people.
So what is Colleen Neighbors doing with the $10,000 the town gave her last year?
They probably paid it to put those 2 drain pipes up by.
Wasn't it 10 grand we gave her last year? Every year we give her money. Irritates the hell out of me.
Do we? I don't remember that one, but that's just me not remembering.
Who gives them money? Select board?
No, town meeting.
To rail trail? I know we give money to the recycle center.
Yeah, no, this
That
is
makes
rail trail.
sense.
This is something.
Well, they probably put those 2 pipes in.
Ms. Dibb started way back, and every year she comes and gets money from. Gets an article put on town warrant. Regular town meeting, not special.
Right.
They do periodic cleanup work along the trail too, right?
Yeah.
Wachusett Greenways. I've been out there sometimes. I've seen.
Yeah, they see those 2 pipes though too. Up by,
Well, that too.
That's probably
That's a special, but yes, they do.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, that was probably 10 grand by itself.
They do maintenance of the swales along the trail.
Yeah.
They do try to
right
maintain the trail, at least to some degree.
Yeah.
Get a ton of donations too. Come on, don't come in there.
It's fine.
I'm just reading here.
Okay, you can finish up. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter.
I directed Colleen to the town administrator and the select board. Colleen also mentioned reaching out to the Conservation Commission. Sure. Colleen is looking for someone else to talk to, basically kick it up a level. My answer about the resources simply not being here has become unacceptable. Want to help, but cannot give what we don't have, especially when town work lags. I know everyone copied on this email, and I'll announce who that is soon, is aware, but for Colleen's benefit. DPW now has 3 full-time highway workers for 80 miles of road. This is the group that would help with these types of requests. The highway group staff has been cut by half for 6 months out of the year, and as the funding for this group is only really covers staff, we cannot contract out the work, contract out work like this. Our buildings and grounds, forestry and parks budgets are 0 funded, and they have been that way for the last couple of years, maybe more than a couple.
It's been a while, yeah.
There is no downtime for this group, and water and sewer staff cannot go on tasks like this. That is also true. As I've said previously, we're respecting what people voted for. Please let the board know if they have any questions, get them to me through your office. So this is really just letting
us know. So they want the town to mow on their sides of their trails, so on non-town property.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's either owned by Wachusett Greenways or DCR, depends
But
upon.
regardless, none's town. owned.
None of it is town property.
So we have no requirement.
No,
To
they
be
haven't
mowing
even
these
cut back
areas.
roads in
Right.
town because they didn't have time.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna cut back something like that?
No, I almost died. on
No,
that.
yeah, I mean,
You.
DPW's position is entirely rational.
I agree.
And in fact, I can't find anything wrong with what
See,
they're
we
saying.
thought about this when we were putting rail trails through, we thought this, because, oh, the town will take care of cleaning out this, the town will clean out that, and everybody just went, with
No.
what? And we had
Yeah.
twice as many people in our budget then. And it's like, now it's like, no, this is what we told you, because it did say if they had time and money.
So
Well,
as
there is
long
no
as- yeah,
time.
we're not
The only
legally-
time they did any work on it was Carl Christensen was there.
Mhm.
And once I think Gary did it and he got his hand slapped.
Yeah, because you took the brush mower down the side of it and everybody
Yeah.
went up and
Oh,
out.
yeah,
Because the thing is, you were cutting that and you had to cut street yet, so it's like you can't.
take care of your town people first. I mean, they're paying the bill.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right, so we're supportive of that decision. and
Yeah.
she reached
Yeah,
out.
I agree.
We'd love to help you, but
Towns.
yes, just,
let the town
yes,
know.
the townspeople use it, but
And we literally have no say over telling the DPW to go mow something. I would laugh at myself if I went up to Joe Bucket.
Hey, look,
"Can you please mow this?"
Dick does a lot of brush hogging. Maybe you can do it for them too. Not that I'm real, honestly,
Sassy.
yeah. I mean, I would never ask it to do that. I never seriously asked it to do that.
So he worked, no, I don't.
Yeah.
Aye. Peanut gallery.
Twice.
Think twice.
Read that sign.
Yeah,
All righty. So this is, I presented this to you folks so that,
We're all aware.
We're all aware, and we disagree, we agree with Joe.
Yep.
Yeah.
we support Joe's position without question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't plan to write a letter of response. I'm just gonna,
No.
but
if Colleen reaches out, then just state, there's nothing that we can do. We are understanding that DPW doesn't have the resources and
Yeah.
that's where it
and
is.
if they don't have resources.
We certainly don't. I'll go out there with my lawnmower.
Yeah.
He'll die.
No, you won't. I'll trip you up and you'll fall underneath it.
I think my mower would kill itself, so it's fine.
Gonna drive itself into the swale and.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
struggling right now.
Drown and. Drown the
Mice
mower
like
and then you got problems. with-
We are a very dark group tonight.
Really?
So that is the last correspondence that I have.
Motion return.
Hold on,
Oh,
I do
yes.
have something.
Oh.
I noticed there's a bunch of, I think, clearing that's gone on right past Fox Run by Four Corners. There's all those wetlands in there. He's like cleared, or someone, I don't even know.
Someone.
Inside.
If you're going towards Four Corners, yeah.
Towards Four Corners from,
From like coming down 122.
so, okay,
From Paxton.
so-
If you're driving
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Paxton.
Yeah.
Go through.
If I'm coming from my house and I'm going to get some lunch. at
Last time it was
Four
your
Corners-
house. No, She's moving. She's selling tomorrow.
Four Corners is on your right.
Yes, Four Corners on your right.
This is on the
then
left.
it's right, is it?
It's
Just,
before,
it's just after it, right?
it's right after Fox Run.
Yes.
Which is all wet, and I think they've cut a whole big.
There's a
swath
forestry
of it.
plan for part of that.
Oh, that could
There,
explain.
there was a
something.
forestry plan for part of that, if I remember right, because we looked at it and we all went. There is something for there that came up not significantly long ago.
Okay. I might have Tamika look for that then if you guys have been, because
Yeah.
if not, then,
If there was something for
Okay.
over there that I know.
because if there's
that.
not, then there's something going on that we should be looking at.
I agree.
Yeah,
You remember that and let me know, okay?
yeah, I will.
Thanks.
I don't forget anything.
I'm sure you don't. That's all. I second.
Now we have a second, good.
Like
See, we're on the same page.
See, what I don't know is how he didn't make the motion, but
she was too.
Well, usually, yeah,
I would let her talk. She had a.
he's nice. He's not nice. Oh, Dan's eye.
Behind your eye.
he didn't have to go. He went. You're right, I didn't point at him. Crane, we're adjourned. Thank you all very much. Have a great couple of weeks.
Going back to my humble abode.